Hello y'all, it's Valerie here, and I just wanted to jump on here and kind of catch up with you guys. Recently I haven't been really making a whole lot of videos in the garden because I was stung by yellow jacket and found out that I'm deadly allergic to them. We have a lot of yellow jackets on our property. Sorry, that was a bird. It startled me for a second. Jackets. Every time I come out, if the temperature is suitable, I get confronted with 3 to 5 yellow jackets within 2 to 4 feet of my door. So I haven't really been coming out here much. And just this new thing that happened in my life has made me really depressed. It's put me in mourning for the fact that I do have to be aware of these things now, and I do have to think about the plants that are around my house and what plants that do attract yellow jackets and those that don't. Given that the yellow jacket allergy is a very real thing for me, and it was very scary, and I never want to go through that again. I have been considering what I'm going to do garden-wise, and what I've come up with is there are things that I can grow that aren't attractors to yellow jackets, and then there are other things that do attract yellow jackets that I'm going to have to move, at least out of my walkways. Also, this year was an extremely rare year for us where we had an overabundance of yellow jackets. We normally don't have this many yellow jackets from what I understand. Like, I noticed that there was a lot, but I've never really paid attention to them before in the way that I do now. Next summer will be my gauge of what I finally do regarding the garden. Hopefully next year is a more normal yellow jacket year, and I can kind of just watch and see when they're the most active, see how active they are, see how many I see. Like, I'm not sure how active they are in spring because I've never paid attention before. They were just, I do pay attention to pollinators, but they were just mixed in with the general group of pollinators. I never specifically singled them out for any reason to be aware of their activity compared to other pollinators. So this coming season will show me, what I have to do regarding the garden. Even if I have to take out some of my perennials, next year I will be able to pay attention to the yellow jacket habits throughout the season and gauge, like, are they abundant in spring? Are they abundant in early spring? If they're not abundant in early spring, then I could plant flowers that would be done by by the time summer rolls around, just as an example. But if for some reason, the yellow jackets are heavy next year and I find that it's just like a constant thing I'm going to have to deal with, because I do know this was an exceptional year for yellow jackets. It's been all over Appalachia. I'm not sure where else, but I know all over Appalachia we've had an overabundance of yellow jackets due to drought. So if next year is a more normal year in that regard and we have just a normal yellow jacket season, I want to see the patterns. But what I was going to say, if I do have to switch gears and get rid of perennials, I will still be able to grow like evergreens, some grasses that are wind pollinated, corn is wind pollinated, and there are flowers that actually aren't attractive to yellow jackets as well, so I might incorporate more of those in the landscaping, at least around my house. I'm hoping that the yellow jacket season doesn't get heavy until if it didn't start getting heavy until August. That gives me a whole lot of time until, say, late July, August, that I can do a lot of gardening. And then I just have to be done a little sooner in the year, at least done with some of it. But next year is going to be my test season. This has caused me quite a bit of I've been depressed. I've been questioning. I've had a lot of grief. As some of you all know, I lost my mother a little over a year ago, and I used my time in the garden to heal that grief. I would go pour all of my tears into the soil as I dug. And then a year later, like a year and a month later, I have gardening taken away from me, which I know it's just gardening. There are so many worse things in the world. It just seems like a lot because it was one of my coping mechanisms, and now that coping mechanism is gone. However, I've been doing research, and it does seem like even if I have to lose some of the flowers, which I absolutely love, I don't have to give it up for good, hopefully. And maybe after next season, I can see maybe I don't have to give up as much as I think. I'm going to insert some clips of a few of the projects that I've been working on in here now just to kind of catch you up. I just kind of wanted to come out here and let you know that it's been a few weeks since I filmed the first part of this video. I'm going to find a place for this iris I grew from seed, as well as some hydrangeas in a rose that need to get planted. Here's these hydrangeas. Some of them even have pretty blooms on them. But they are languishing in their pots, and we need to get them in the ground before it starts getting too cold. This is that iris I grew from seed. Look at the root mass. I winter sowed this back in probably February from seed. And I've left it in the jug all year. That's why it's in this container. I just left it. I'm just now getting around to planting it. So I think we've decided we're going to put the hydrangeas along the back edge of this bed that I had my houseplants planted in, and see how that works. The reason I am no longer over there planting. They are literally everywhere. I guess not quite literally, but close enough. Yeah, they're like in that fresh dug dirt too. Because they're over there by your thingies now on that dirt. Okay. Now they're near, yeah, they're swarming, not swarming, but they're curious.
Did you see that one that just flew up out of the bucket beside my hand? I reached in there and grabbed a handful of dirt.
No. That's why I'm not over there. One just flew right by you. Like, you're surrounded by them. It's making me real nervous. I'm trying not to live in fear. Alright. Okay. It's kind of hard to see, but we've got them planted all along the edge of this back wall and all along the edge of this back wall. And then we'll still have this front area to plant in. Right in the middle, you can't see it because it's burgundy and it kind of blends in right now. I'll put that as stilby. That may or may not have to be moved depending on how the deer and the bunny treat it in the spring. But at least it's in the ground for now and the frost won't kill it. We had to have our septic tank pumped again, and it's right where my flower beds are, so just so that way it makes it easier to find both sides of this, I'm going to take my stone and reform my flower bed right around this way, so that way next time we have to dig, we know where to dig. And I want to do it before our hole gets filled back in. Just took the stone that I had and curved it around this way. I had one lemon coral sedum that I had to move. And then once it's filled back in, I will replace the stone. that's right there.
You're real pretty.
And it is dusk. It looks way darker on camera than it actually is right now, but I'm going to go out to my greenhouse and clean it up. It's something that I've been needing to do, but there have been so many yellow jackets flying around during the daytime. I really haven't had the chance to get out here. So this is the time of day I've got to do it. There's nothing buzzing or flying around right now. So I'm going to get in there and just clean it all up and get it ready to put some of these plants in it that I have that need to overwinter in there. It is getting dark in here. It does look much darker on screen than it is in real life. So I'm going to use my handy little light. I've at least got a path out of the middle so that way I can come in on a different evening and work a little bit more. I know it was hard to see in the footage from last night because it was dark, but I did get a path cleared. I'm going to have to, at some point, get some of this stuff out of here. Until then, though, it can just stay right there. I want to go get all of these garlic and onions crated up. And then just generally finish getting some of this mess cleaned up. I've got my onions. This crate is about 1/3 of the way full. No, it's hard to see from the top how deep it goes, but that's a lot of little onions to get me started on this fall. I ate a lot of onions, so I don't know how long it'll last, but I should work through these pretty quickly. I would like to mention, don't leave them in your greenhouse all summer. That is not the best way to cure them. These are still usable. I don't know how that affected how long they're going to keep or anything like that. I do know that some of the little ones were completely dehydrated, so some of them there wasn't even enough there to keep to try to turn into onion powder. It was just nothing left in the husk except for a little tiny pith. I guess that would be the right terminology. Anyways, don't do like I do and leave them in your greenhouse all summer. I do have a small amount of garlic that I will be taking inside and dealing with as well. I think I've come to a stopping point for now, so let me show you where I'm at, and then we'll pick this up later. As you can see, I got all the onions and garlic off the shelves. I'm just using this area right here to start to sort and pile things. And then once I get that done, I'll see what's staying in my greenhouse and what's going into storage. Yeah, I've got all kinds of stuff to do here. And this front area is still a huge mess. We'll pick it up later though. See you in a bit. I would like to finish up on this greenhouse listen, it's probably not going to be pristine. It's going to be probably still a little messy and cluttered for what I would like it to be. But we're like remodeling our house right now, and like I'm sitting in front of this piece of wood that's just randomly out here. So I'm just trying to get it straightened enough that I can get these plants that I have sitting out there into the greenhouse, because even though they are hardy here, they're just in little pots. And I just want to give them some extra protection from the weather, since they're not in bigger pots and they aren't in the ground. It'll just protect their roots a little more. The only thing is I will have to come and remember to water them periodically throughout the winter, since they won't be outside. It's done enough I could put those plants out here right now. I would just like to get it slightly more situated, get it a little more organized. I will come out here and refine it more probably when it gets closer to time for spring planting. I am still going to try to do a tomato seedling sale. I'm going to still grow some things. It'll just be a little different this year. First though, before I get started on this greenhouse, because it's early in the morning, there's not any flying insect activity really going on right now. I've got this rose that I bought on clearance that has been in its pot for way too long, and it's lost all of its leaves, but it's got little nice healthy buds on it. So I just want to get it in the ground for the winter. I may have to end up moving it next spring, because we do have like a deer and small rodent population, like bunnies. We also have groundhogs and voles and that kind of stuff. But so I'm going to get it in the ground for the winter, so it can at least survive the winter and honestly get some nutrients, because I'm sure it's very root bound. I want to do that because it's outside. I want to do it before the flying insects wake up, because the warmer this day gets, the more likely there is to be activity. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to come back in my greenhouse here and finish straightening up what I want to do here, because at least I'm not outside. I'm slightly protected in here compared to just being outside where they can fly around. This is the rose bush, and I have treated it with a fungicide. But it is called Earth Angel Parfuma. And let's see, Angel Parfuma. This says Earth Angel. I don't even know what color this is. It wasn't in bloom when I bought it. It was on clearance. But yeah, we got it for $3. I'm going to go get it in the ground so it has a chance to survive. So back by this volunteer brassica, that's some kind of brassica that's volunteered. Over in there, I planted a baptisia, and it died or got eaten. So I'm just going to plant my rose back in this area. It's in this bed here with my herbs. Whenever you plant plants like that have the little tags around the stems or the trunks, you want to make sure you remove those, because they will do what's called collaring the plant. It will collar your tree or your shrub, and what that means is it'll start cutting into the bark and the skin as it grows, strangling the plant. I am going to leave my name tags on these plants until the springtime, and then I will make sure that I get them removed. But for now, I will leave them on, and in the spring, those will come off. So if you're needing to tag your plants, just get a new tag and make it real loose, or get a stake or something and tag it that way. But yeah, definitely take those tags off, because they're usually pretty tight and they will strangle your plant. Now on to the greenhouse. So this is what it looks like now. I want to get some more of this stuff straightened up, and I want to get that trash bag out of there. and I may even sweep the floor. I'm not sure of that yet. I might just get this stuff straightened and call it a day. I just clustered the plants that I'm wanting to keep all right here, so that way they're easier to deal with and easier to water. I will probably at some point come out and prune back these lemon and lime balms. Okay, y'all, that's it for today. I'm very glad to be back out in the garden. I hope you guys are still interested in coming along with me and seeing what this new phase of gardening is going to be like for me. Now I have to be more thoughtful of what I plant, and I'm going to have to adapt. But I think that it's definitely possible to do so. We'll be going through this journey together, and I truly appreciate that. If I don't say it enough, I truly do appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me. It definitely is one of those things that fills me personally with joy, and I hope it brings you a little bit of joy as well. I do want to mention that I have a few taste tests that I recorded over the summer for tomatoes that will start to go up on my channel, you know, in the next coming weeks. I just had a lot of taste tests I did this year, and I would like to finish getting the rest of those up, even though they were filmed over the summer. I don't have, well, I can't say that's not true. I do have a couple of tomatoes out there that just ripened, but they're just like 2 and they're cherries. So, but needless to say, it's not tomato season. I'm not getting tomatoes fresh, but I am going to go ahead and put up those taste tests in case people out there just want to know what they taste like. And I just wanted to let you know those would be coming up, and I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.